Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Um, Gonna do something a little bit different today. Well, I kind of do something different every day. um, if you're wondering, I am still a little bit under the weather. Still have a bit of a fever from the Rona, but working through it. It is hot out too. Maybe that's why I'm sweating so much. But today, trying something a little bit different. If you've watched my videos in the past, you've probably seen where I've had a little bit of a problem with recording because I do not have like the hottest of computer setups. So I want to try that out a little bit, see how that records, and then I actually have two things that I wanted to go over or just talk about in regards to major failings or things that I've been working to get over of in regards to my inability to play Eve very well. And it's a really tough haul, and I like to get to there whenever I can. But first thing I want to do is really try this out, and it's nothing huge. It's just one of those mindset things that I'm having to over overdo to get better at. Um, First off, I am in my Amicus here. I'm gonna go ahead and undock. There is. I just logged off and logged back in, and unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to that. And there is a relic and a data site in this system, and I have to rescan them down. I'm just going to scan down one of them here. I think that is the relic site there. Um, okay, warp. Let's launch our probes, and then I'm going to go to a safe spot. Warp. There is another fellow in system. He's been here for a little bit. Did do a Z kill board on him. He is dangerous, but doesn't seem like he goes after explorers too often. I could get killed doing this, but again, flying a pretty cheap ship, not too worried about it. Um, and this is more so the test to see whether or not I can make videos doing this, because I want to make more videos doing exploration stuff, but the lag whenever I'm trying to do certain things is just so painful sometimes that it's not really worthwhile taking the chance. I have to kind of rehash them. I actually died the other day going into a wormhole, and I would have liked to have shown people what happened to me, but I couldn't really record that. So I'm kind of hoping this kind of fixes that. Um, there are other things that I can do. And to tell you what I did do, get this scanning here real quick. I went into my settings, went in here to optimize settings, and I set it to memory, um, optimizing for memory, which lowered a lot of the presets to low standards. Um, Someday I do want to get a really new computer because that'll actually go into part of what I want to talk about after I scan this sucker down. And you know what? I was watching somebody the other day, and they were doing a scanning video, and I always learn a little bit from people when I do that. But one thing I know, there are a couple things I noticed that he wasn't doing that I've slowly learned over time, and I think you learn this the more and more that you scan and do sites. And one of them was my whenever I go to a safe spot, um, actually setting myself in motion and putting myself into a high velocity move so that if I'm not paying attention, like I haven't been, and I'm not directional scanning to see if there's any combat probes out, um, then I might just get lucky enough that if somebody does scan me down, I'm in movement. I'm currently moving, so by the time they actually warp to me, I'm far enough off of them that they can't get an instant tackle. That has actually happened a couple of times where somebody has been able to combat probe me down, but I've been in motion and I see them come up in my um, direct line of sight here and I was able to warp away without them being able to get me, rather than just going to a safe spot and sitting. That's a major thing that I think, a small thing, but it's actually saved me 2 or 3 times, if not more. The other thing being that if they come in cloaked, they can't, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they can use afterburners. They can go at full regular pace, but I don't think they can use afterburners or micro warp drives while cloaked, which again, they wouldn't be able to catch me because I'm at 2300. But maybe there's a way. Maybe I'm not getting that. But it saved me plenty of times. So here's the big test. Now, number one, he could kill me if I roll over here, and he's been waiting for me this whole time. It's been about 15, 20 minutes. But what I want to do is try to warp into this relic site and scan down a box. And whenever I've been scanning them down before while I've been recording, it's a really slow process between decryption points, and it's just painful to watch. This time I want to see what happens. So I'm descanning right now to see if everybody is in the area. It doesn't show if anybody's cloaked, but I'm going to at least take one chance to see if anybody's there. Okay, so we're going to warp in here. He may just be docked up. As you can tell, I'm still a little bit pretty stuffed up. I've been fighting this thing for about 4 days now. I'm hoping it's breaking. Okay, so we got nothing that has been opened yet. Now the first thing I always like to do is go after the one that looks different from all the others. So I'm going to go after this rubble. And I'm going to directionally scan it. Or not directionally scan it. I'm going to cargo scan it, see what's in there. Nothing much. Okay, so the next one we want to do are the ruins. So I'm going to check the ruins next. Why do I do it this way? Because it makes it easier for me to remember what I've already scanned and what I haven't, if any of them pops up with a decent amount. See, that one's worthwhile. So we're going to go do that one real quick. That's over 2 million. Keeping an eye out here to see if anybody pops in that they've laid a trap. That one's worth 4. Okay. So I now know that I've scanned down both the rubble and the ruins. The only ones that are left are the remains. But my major thing that I'm here for, while I like the ISK, is to actually try out this system setup so that maybe I can start doing videos where gotta get within 5. I overshot that with my micro warp drive. I was dumb. Okay, here we go. So let's see if this works a little bit better. Also keeping an eye on local. Okay, this seems to be going a little bit better. That was dumb of me. I could have used the pincers there earlier. See, I'm paranoid right now. This is actually going a little bit better. That was a very bad waste of my special abilities there. If I would have used the pincers on the 60s on the first one, I don't know what their actual name is. They say it down below. I never keep an eye out for it. Okay, there's my opening. Now I just need to find a bonus thingy, which, watch this, I won't be able to find one. Great. Nothing. Oh, that one's done. By the way it was scanning out there, I had a good feel that it wasn't going to actually do it, so. Boy, I am not, why am I not close to this? That's weird. Maybe I'm locked up on something? I did that really poorly that first run. I didn't use the pincers, which really limited me later on in the kill. Um, this one isn't going anywhere near as... Come on, really? Hey, I finally got something. That's nice. Okay, so I know nothing's down there. This is painful. Nothing up here. There's something. Now I gotta find one. Oop, that's a little bit helpful. 1, 2. Up. There he is. He's trying to kill me. And I got away. Okay. Whoo! Ha ha! Okay. So, I'm actually glad I was able to film that. So, a couple of different positives there. First, I was able to I was a little bit distracted over on the side, where he had laid wait for me for at least 20 minutes. And I'm thinking, but long story short, because I had been on earlier, I had scanned down those sites, saw him come in, docked up, actually did a little bit of a funky thing that I want to talk about, but then logged off and wanted to reset this thing. I was thinking, well, maybe he's not doing anything, and so I reset my calibration to try out this video, which, number one, I now know that while it's a little bit slower, I'm able to do videos where I'm scanning down sites. But yeah, long story short, I'm really glad because I was able to fix the resolution thing. Well, if you notice here, whenever I'm zooming in, since I've lowered my settings, my resolution is not gaining. So I'm not getting the full benefit of Eve and it's the beauty of it, but I'm also able to record now while I'm doing sites. So I'll be able to do a lot more of this. And I'm glad I caught that because I was distracted there by two things of making the video, but also I was distracted by knowing somebody else was in the system. So I did not do the decryption that well. I made a lot of mistakes in there. Um, uh, I'm gonna send him a message later on. And actually this goes directly 100% into what I wanted to talk about today. So one of the major issues that I've had in the past is separating myself from being a Care Bear and being an actual PvP type of person or player, and it's very hard to turn those on and off. Um, and Jasper's I'm gonna message you here in a little while. He's messaging me now, or she, and they're talking to me about the Amicus and stuff like that. Uh, and that's where e-players are cool. The biggest thing is uh, two things. If you're ever going to be any good with PvP, which I'm not at, you have to be willing to lose your ships. And that old phrase, never fly anything that you're not willing to lose, is 100%, but you've got to believe it. Anybody can say that, but it's more about believing it and acting upon it. Um, the fact that I've been doing this scavenger lifestyle for quite a while now, I'm finally getting over that hump. I watched a video a year or two ago about faction warfare, and he talked about if you ever want to get over flying, uh, losing your ship, build 10 of them, build 10 of a ship, go out and get yourself blown up 10 times. And while I think this is a positive thing, there's no ownership there for me. With the with this type of lifestyle that I'm doing now, there's a form of ownership, but the investment is time, not assets. Because basically, I'm building everything from scratch right now, and the ships that I'm flying are from scratch. So I'm not so afraid to lose them. I'm still a little bit afraid, obviously, um, especially if I'm not flying anything that can fight back, obviously. Uh, but does that make me a good PvPer? No, it doesn't. What it does make me is unafraid. To move into the next level, I have to be willing to go out there and find fights. Now, what does that mean in my mind? Well, and I'm barely scratching the edges of this in my mind, but there's three different types of PvPers in my mind. Number one, and I'm not even sure you would rate this one as a PvPer. You have the obvious gankers that are in high sec, or those are the guys who are tracking down mining ships and hauling ships, and basically sacrificing small level ships, um, a bunch of them to make a big whale kill or something like that, or get a big Z kill board um, kill. Uh, and that's not something that really interests me a whole lot. Um, the second one, and I think this is poorly said, is, well, not poorly. It's put into a negative that I think it's not something that I'm interested in doing most of the time, but it's given a negative connotation, and it's a pirate. Pirates, in my mind, are not your gankers. They're not the ones that hang out in high sec. Pirates are the guys who are hanging out in low sec or null sec, roving around in groups, and actually going out and trying to kill big whales, unsuspecting people, whether they be explorers, whether they be groups of miners, that sort of thing. Even gate campers. They are very similar to your Pirates of the Caribbean, for lack of a better word. They are roaming around looking for an opportunity to gain money off of somebody else who isn't very good at fighting back. Here's my thing. I don't view that as a negative because anybody who comes out to nullsec or comes out to lowsec, it should understand that they are putting themselves at risk, just like I am with this Amicus right here. I was putting myself at risk when I knew that this guy was in system, and this is such a great video to bring this up at. I have no problem with him trying to kill me because that's what he's doing. That's part of being out here. It's up to me whether or not I want to fly something that can fight back, and maybe do that. So actually, there's four groups of PvP. The third one, I think, would be your nullsec alliances. And I'm not going to get into this huge amount because I don't know a huge amount about it, but the big boys who have the big capital ships and the big fighting, get the big groups of people together, um, and you're basically a cog in the wheel of that whole situation for 95% of you. But it's cool, and it's being part of that Star Wars big galactic battle thing that's going on in Eve, and that's really awesome. Oh, he just left the system. Maybe I can go check out that relic site again. I wonder if he scanned it down. We'll check it out. Um, but last but not least, there is what I'm thinking I want to do going forward, and it's what I did last night very briefly, is just defending your own territory to, this is going to sound weird, you're not a pirate, but you're entrepreneur or a I'm trying to think of the right word for it. Basically, I live in Stain in a couple of systems, and I explore those systems, and I get the relic sites when uh, the opportunity arises. Well, last night I scanned down a site, and I noticed another guy was in a system, and he was in a heron. And for the first time ever, rather than warping to the site, I was in my Amicus. I went and docked up and picked up um, my Omen, threw on a warp disruptor, and flew out to it. Now, I wasn't able to get him. He was like 50 kilometers away. As soon as I warped in, he warped away. And as he was leaving, he was like, not cool. And I replied back to him. I was like, hey, whenever you're in Nullsec, and this wasn't anything being mean, I said, when you're in Nullsec, you got to be willing to do this. And in my mind, that will make him think twice about coming in to explore this area. Now, he probably still will, but it will maybe make him think twice. And if that is a PvP aspect, that maybe I pick up a fight that way. Maybe I grow a contention there, a war between me and somebody else, or a common fight. You know, there's a lot of these faction warfare guys do this. They protect their own areas. And I think that's very similar. They're protecting a territory. I can start doing this, whether it be here, whether it be in LowSec. Find a group of systems that maybe I set up a couple of ships. That if I see somebody either mining or um, uh, 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 exploring or doing something in the system, they would need. I can start saying this is my territory, unless you're bigger than me. So, but those are the two humps that I've had to still get over, and I'm still not going to be good at. This is how I'm going to lose some ships, but it's going to be a lot more fun. Is the fear of losing your ship, and then also the fear of actually putting yourself out there in the stigma of being a pirate, or if you decide to do something, go do it. And if you're willing to go out to low sec or null sec, you should be willing to lose every ship that you take out there. And I am to that point now where I am. And if I were to lose every ship that I have, I know that I could restart up and go again. So I know I kind of rambled on there. I think that was kind of cool that that all popped up. I'm really happy, and I'm glad that I can probably do these. Let's. I still got a little bit of time here. Let's see if he left this site open, because he is out of local. He did lay a trap for me, I think, for at least. Um, hey, the relic site's still there. Let's go see if it's there. Now, the other thing, too, is I need to be very careful. If he does pop up back in local, he might warp directly to it. Jaspers Flandis, good try. Appreciate the effort. Maybe you'll get me someday. Yeah, he did not actually do any of these. So this Rebel one here that was still available, that one I think had 4 million in it. So let's go get that. Let's check out these remains too and see if there's anything in any of those. There's 1.5 million in that one. This one should be worthwhile, if I remember correctly. It's another thing that I've really learned out here is just having patience. The first time I ever did that was in my trek to get out to Stain. Nope. Oh, that was the rubble, wasn't it? I was wanting the ruins. That's what I was wanting. Because that should be the 4 millioner. That's what I get for not double checking. Yep, there's a 4 millioner. So this is worthwhile. these other two are within range. I know there's a million in that one, but we'll pass it up for now once I get done with this ruin and just go check out these other two. I do like this. I'm really glad. If you've watched my previous videos, it was really frustrating when I would try to decrypt these because my video recording and my system were pretty slow. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. That's better. Okay. Use you. I think it's right here. Yep. Haha. You get a sixth sense of these things. Notice while I'm not preoccupied by worrying about somebody else's system, I'm actually doing a lot better. So we're going to micro warp drive out to this 55-kilometer one. Why? Because I know that's a million. That's an okay one, and we'll come back and get it. But I want to make sure that either one of these two is not a really worthwhile one. 761. 5340. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that one. Okay, so none of these were actually huge moneymakers. I did get the 4 million one. But hey, that's about it for today. Actually, a really good video. Glad I talked about it. Had some time. I hope you guys are having a good week. It's Friday for most people, so I hope you have a great weekend coming up here. I'm going to keep working on trying to get a little bit more healthy from getting over COVID. But hopefully I'll just keep churning out the videos. My ups and downs with my temperatures have gotten a little bit less, so we'll see how we go. You guys fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however you want, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.